no offense to anybody, but African American men now and back then were targeted. I couldn't do what other certain individuals could do.
Yeah.
I had Caucasian friends, and those friends were able to say things, do things, and get away with bloody murder, but it let me have done it. It's either you go here or the slammer, and I'm like, wait, what? I beat that guy's butt bad, really bad. Never let somebody spit on you.
Ain't got a moment when they see you down, just know they love it.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. I got a special guest with me today, so why don't you tell the people your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself.
Poetic League, you already know what it is. Poetic League in the building from Boston, Mass. Also the owner of Rhymes and Dimes, the cooking, catering, Instagram post and page. Holla at your boy.
Absolutely. So, cooking, catering.
Yes, man.
Talk about that, man. Like how long you been into that? Where you at with that?
So right now, I do got to give a special shout out to Kneecap Boston and all the chefs, Chef P, Chef Chris, and Chef Q, and the whole team out there for really honing my skills and sharpening them to the best person I can be in the kitchen. And I've been cooking since my grandmother, was able to teach me. She was alive for a long time. She unfortunately, passed a fair amount of time ago. And that's why she's around my neck everywhere I go. And she was just, I remember one day I was like, hey, Grandma, hey, what you making? And she said, boy, why don't you come help me and find out? And then I think it was strawberry shortcake, one of my specialty signature cakes that I make now. And I will never forget that day. She literally had me watch her every step from step, each part, and literally explained every bit of it and how it got there, why it went where it went, and how we got to where we got with it. And ever since then, that was like, I believe that was like when I was like around 6 or 7 years old. That was when I was in my badass stages. Mom was like, you get out my house. I'm like, all right, I'm going to my grandmother's.
No doubt.
So probably since like 6 or 7 years old, that's when I really was cooking. And that's when it really all started. And ever since then, it's been up from there, just been cooking, baking, finessing, creativity, creating things by the fly, really.
Absolutely. So, now you cook, you're a chef?
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
I mean, what about eating? Is that something? I mean, I take it you like to eat. What are some of your favorite dishes that you like to eat? What's the cuisine that you prefer?
I think that we all know I eat good. But I think one of my most popular dishes to make right now, and I actually got to give you one of those one day. And it's the garlic Parmesan fried chicken, my dad's favorite. Shout out to Pop, shout out to Mom. That is one of my most popular dishes right now. And it's not just because of creativity, but it's because of all the love and the process that it takes to get it so perfect. And I believe that everybody, like, every time I make it, when they order it, whether it's for catering or whether it's for an event or even voluntary, when I'm just doing it for a good cause. And I believe that every time they have it, they have all said one and the same thing, and that's, this shit is good. The flavor is there. It's not overpowering. The salt is not overpowering. It was just the right amount of sauce, just the right amount of love, and a whole bunch of goodness. So that's my go-to meal. I love making that. Anytime somebody's like, oh, what you gonna make? I said, I'm making that garlic Parmesan fried chicken. I need me a plate, so, and that's my go-to.
Absolutely, that sounds fire. Definitely have to take you up on that
Absolutely,
offer.
absolutely.
So was that something that was big growing up in your family? Like, do you guys eat at the table for dinner and all that stuff? Always home-cooked meals? Talk about that. Man.
Absolutely. Before, grandma's house, obviously, you had to have manners. If you didn't, she beat it into you. That's a whole nother story. But my mom and dad were really big on trying to bring family together and trying to have everybody eat together. Unfortunately, as time goes on and as you get older, those tendencies and those qualities that you have as a family unit tend to separate and grow apart as you separate from the family tree and do your own thing. So my parents did a great job trying to keep it as long as they could, and eventually we all the children had their own families or had their own lives and branched out. but my parents were very good about making family dinners a must. I believe that every like Friday or Saturday night, we either had some sort of family game night. Man, shout out to mom and dad for that. That really got me through some trouble.
Nice. Yeah.
And Saturday night, I always remember my pops would always take us somewhere. My favorite one was going fishing. Never knew I was as good as a damn fisherman until I started fishing with him.
That's nice.
And I remember, I'll never forget, he's like, oh, we caught a big ass bass in this lake we went to. And I'm like, help. I don't know what I'm doing. Help me. And he's like, give me the damn pole. So, and I love my Friday, Saturday night. So now with my 4 daughters that I have, I try to make them realize like family is everything.
Yeah.
It may not be what you want it to be, but it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Make the best of it.
Even if it's just like family movie night, like we used to have something
You
like
know?
that, get the people together. So I know about the grandma was cooking. What about in like as far as the mom and the dad? Who was the cook as far as that? Cause hey, sometimes I give it to my like shout out moms.
Yeah.
You know, you did your best, but you know, my dad definitely a better
Oh,
cook
absolutely.
than my mom.
Absolutely.
Mom. But yeah,
when
good.
you see this, Mom, I'm sorry, and I love you. You had your lemon chicken, you did your thing. But when it came to overall, my pops took the championship trophy. My dad made this fire American chop suey. I don't know. And every single damn time he made it, for some weird damn reason, it got better each time he made it. I'm like, well, you adding new ingredients or something? Like, why does it keep tasting better? And it's
Right.
like, no, just when you got something and you done it so long, it's just tastes better each time you have it. So I was like, oh, okay. But my dad, he's a baker. He done taught me how to do infused cupcakes, Hennessy infused cupcakes, infused cakes, you know, with my good friend and partner from Presence Clothing Brand CEO had made an order for his fiance, and I actually was able to hone in some of those skills my father taught me with insertion tubes and how to make the cake, how to design it, how to texture it so it solidifies. So shout out to my pops and my grandmother for that. They definitely did their big one on that one.
Absolutely. So
Sure.
we're in a new era, the internet age, man. So I guess talk about how important that's been for what you do, right? Because it seems like nowadays, you know what I mean? Back in the day, gatekeepers, mainstream, you know what I mean? Media, mainstream, Hollywood, all this. But now it seems like anybody, if they're just, you know, talented and put in enough hard work, can get a little bit of a following. So talk about how like important the internet's been. I take it that do a lot of your orders come from the internet?
Absolutely. Most of my orders come from online, and then the other 5% of that 95% is most likely from word of mouth. Like, hey, check him out. But most of the time, people see how luxurious, how well presented, my plating, see how the pictures look like, hey, look, that looks good. How can I get an order of that? And I'm like, well, you reached the right place. What do you need? How do you need it? What would you like? When do you need it by? And how much are you looking to get? And so that's really a word of mouth. Like, name of the game, everybody, is social media. If you don't have a following and you know people around you that have a following, utilize those people and let them know, like, utilize you too. It's going to benefit each other. And that's what happens a lot of times in the world today, is that people are so selfish and greedy that they don't want others to win or surpass them versus winning together and y'all both win.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but I'm grateful. I got to give a shout out to Mort Beasy. He's also my music mentor, also a big brother to me in the game, helped me with a lot of things. Also put me on game with, hey, do this way, showed me how to do certain things I never thought I could do. Him and my family really honed into me like, yo, you got to go out and get it. Like, you got talent. You're not just a great cook. You're a lyricist. I never seen anybody just come off the dome with, you know, freestyles or words lyrically without writing it. I said, I thought people were just doing that. I'm like, that's not a thing? He said, no, that's a gift.
Yeah. You'd be
So
surprised.
I'm like, oh, wow. And then shout out to Sincere Boston, my engineer, music producing, studio artist person. I appreciate you. So got to give you love too. Happy birthday as well.
Absolutely. Shout out Happy birthday! Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Mort Beasley for sure, man. He's been super helpful in my journey doing all this and everything as well, and he's just an overall great dude. So music, you talking about freestyle a little bit with the music.
Yeah.
What about the food? You ever freestyle some things? I mean, I've been known to, I don't know, coming up sometimes a little bit, only having certain things in the house, kind of. Sometimes it's a big swing and a miss. Sometimes it's a hit. But is that something you like experiment with? Is that fun for you?
I'm actually.
Or you just like by the book?
I like to freestyle. Like, I like to really dib and dab. Like, I feel like for me is if I see something, most times when I see something, I get an idea, or if I see something on Facebook, or I see something on Pinterest, or even in my school. I seen them do something, I was like, I'm gonna top that and I'm gonna better it. And then every time I say that, I do it and bring it in, and it's like, you know what? This is a hell of a fucking dish.
Absolutely.
And, so I think that it's really, really in the moment. We're going to go with it's in the moment. Like, in the moment, depending on what I am doing and what I'm trying to accomplish with it, depends on how it's going to come out and what I'm going to do with it. Because, like, when I made a strawberry shortcake triple layered cake, I didn't just think of it. I had my grandmother on my mind. I was like, she told me, this is the recipe. This is how I need you to do it. Execute it. And unfortunately, she didn't get to see me do that, but I feel like she did in the spirit. Speaking on spirit, a lot of people in your prior podcast channels was like, hey, spirit and God. I'm big on God and Christ as well. Absolutely. And I truly believe that even when you're gone or those people are gone, they're still with you. And I really believe that when I did that cake, she was with me, because I was like, I thought I was going to fail. Yep. But my family thought elsewise, because when I put that cake out there, when I made it on Thanksgiving, it was gone.
Nice.
It disappeared. It walked away.
And there's a lot of options on Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, in life, man, with me especially, man, I learned by messing up, right? Like I had to go to prison to learn like certain lessons. Even with the podcast, like I done had stuff in the beginning with no audio or no video or cut out halfway through. So what about in your experience with the food, man? Was there ever like a swing and a miss or any mess ups, and did you learn from it? Talk about that.
Absolutely. So I actually have my field pages still active.
Okay.
As a reminder, I may not have access to all of them, but they're active, and I'm glad they are, because it's a reminder that where you are in the moment, it doesn't define where you can be in the future. I'm gonna say that again. Where you are in the moment doesn't define where you can be in the future. That's for sure. And I am a testament of that, because I never thought that I would be where I am today. Not only that, I just passed my Allergen State Massachusetts exam, which would allow me to open a business. I passed my ServSafe, which will allow me to be a handler to sell food legally. Yep. And I passed a huge test that would allow me knowledgeably to have a business of my own. So again, shout out to Kneecap Boston for all of those opportunities, because that's testament of, just because I failed don't mean I have to continue to fail, and it's testament of how you gonna get back up.
So why is it that you call them failed pages? What do you mean, like Instagram pages?
Absolutely.
Like, why are they considered failures? I mean, did you just lose the password? Or
part of them is because I lost the password, but then the other part of them is because it was hit and misses, like you said, hit or miss. It was a starting off, like, let's try this, let's see how it goes, let's see where to take us. And there were failed attempts. But again, that goes back to what I said, just because you failed a few times doesn't mean that you're a failure all time.
No, I mean, see, a lot of people think failure is like the opposite of success, but I look at it as actually you're a chef, an essential ingredient in the recipe of success. Exactly. You have to fail. You
in
know
order
what I mean?
to be better at and know what you failed at, you have to fail. And when you fail, you learn the experience. You can't get experience from something you always get right, because what did you learn?
Exactly. So you keep bringing up kneecap, right? Am I saying that right? Like kneecap,
absolutely.
like bust a kneecap. Now, is that the school? Is that a program that gets you into school? I guess talk a little bit about that.
I'm glad you asked, because kneecap is not just a school for people like, that like me and young people. It's an opportunity of a lifetime to re-grasp the horns of your life. There's people that came from incarceration, and this was their way of getting back to the community, being able to get back to that livelihood as a person. I just came out of a class well, I just got into a class with them, and the class that I'm in with right now, some of these people are former, I'm not going to say no names for protection, but some of these people are former incarcerated people. They just came out of the pen, out of state, the feds, etc. And now I'm seeing these people. I'm like, what the fuck is the person? Who? This isn't the same person they're telling me about. Where's that person at? And it's just a testament that, like I said, going back on it again, where you start from in that moment doesn't determine where you'll be in the future. Absolutely. Because these people are some of the most decorated. I didn't even know how much experience you could have got from just making stuff in a prison. Like, there's a person that just got an opportunity in Encore and is a top tier chef now over there because of NECAT, and it's all because of the fact that he had the opportunity to have a second chance in life, which is hard because not a lot of times they offer it. And this is that way that NECAT is giving to the community to have a second chance at life. And I'm 150 billion% for that, and I can support that, and I can get behind it. So I'll shout out to NECAT. I talk about them a lot in everything I do because they also gave me a chance to get my life back to where I love and what I love to do that has a passion in it.
So are these classes that they provide, are they the classes, they provide the classes, and is it like, is it strictly like a food thing, a cooking thing, or do they have other classes? Talk about, I guess, that. So yeah, get into that.
Absolutely. So it is a cooking class. It's a 14-week cooking class where, you know, you're learning all the fundamentals to being a chef, and to not just being a chef. If you want to go there just for your serve safe and just to be able to sell food on the side as a hustle, that's the opportunity you can go there for as well. I know some people who just got their serve safe and was like, I'm out. I don't really need this. Right. I just need that. You know, so it's really just whatever you need it to be. Like, it's, you know, teach his own. Like, if you want to go there to be a top-notch chef of the world, like myself, I have goals. I think I'm gonna be better than Gordon Ramsay. Hey. I'm sticking to it. I don't care. At me.
Absolutely.
But
battle.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what's up, I feel like NECAT isn't just a cooking school. It's a second chance at life.
Yeah, I like that, man. So you had mentioned Gordon Ramsay, right? And at the age of celebrity chefs and all that stuff. I mean, going back to like Emerald and stuff like that. Do you have any like inspirations or people that kind of you looked up to, or maybe got something from, as far as like maybe celebrity chefs? I know you say your grandmother, but
yeah.
the biggest celebrity out there.
To me, yeah, I would say non-living. I like, believe it or not, is not like a top-notch celebrity chef, but the things that this man has done in the kitchen that I've seen with my own two eyes is like borderline Mission Impossible. Like, how in the hell did you do that? And I gotta say, again, it's the director, executive chef at NECAT, Chef Chris. That dude is a magician. Like, I don't understand. Like, some of the things he's done, I'm like, how'd you do that? And he's like, when you've been doing this for as much as I've done it and love it as much as I do, it just becomes second nature. It's like second nature to you.
Got you. So going to school and having your grandmother, right? I guess, what are some things that you could probably only learn from your grandmother and then maybe only from school? Or do you think you could learn all from either or? Or do you think that both is really what gets it for you?
I feel like because she's no longer amongst the living and she's in heaven, you know, I feel like spiritually she's always with me. So I believe in my heart and spirit that it's both, because she's always with me. Now, had she not been, you know, deceased and, you know, passed on in heaven to a better place, and she was living and I just was in school and then she was there, then yeah, I would say my grandmother. Okay. But because she's in heaven, I would say it's a little bit of both. It's both things help me.
Absolutely. So it's one thing to get the certifications, you know, we need that. It's a meritocracy. It's good to show those certs. But I guess, what are some things that you think why is it important to learn from school as opposed to just kind of cooking and learning as you go? You know what I mean? Do you think it accelerates the process, having somebody that kind of knows what they're doing showing you? Or talk about the importance of having people show you and teach you?
So when I went into this place, this school, I was like, I'm self-taught. I don't need none of this. What am I learning here? Like, I already know that.
Right.
Let me tell you something. About week 3 to 4, my chef, the chef that was in class teaching us everything hands-on, Chef Paz, was like, all right, we're going to see if that if you feel that way by week 5 and 6. Week 4.5, I was like, everything I thought I knew, I never knew. And let me tell you something, this is going to be a mind screw because everyone, probably and myself included, used to think that like, oh, okay, we used to put our chicken and we thought we were disinfecting chicken in lemon water and vinegar. It is a myth. You can't clean chicken. You can only rinse it off to be able to cook and keep the moisture. So it mind screwed me. I'm like, wait a second, hold on now. You telling me? And he told me straight up, and I was kind of pissed off, but then he showed me why. And then I actually did what he told me to do, and it actually tasted a hell of a lot better. I rinsed off the chicken with water, cold water at that, let it sit in cold water, and the same way I make my garlic fried Parmesan chicken, I did it the same way. But the time I did it the way he showed me was way better.
Got you.
More moisturized, texture, everything was perfect.
What's your favorite part about cooking? Is it to eat it after, or to see someone else eat it and enjoy it, or is it the process of cooking, the smells?
I believe for me, it's a little bit of everything. It's all the process, the love that you put into it. I truly believe that if the person that cooks it should always cook it with love, and if not, get the hell out of my fucking kitchen. Because and nobody want to eat something that everybody can do, but everybody wants to have something that was put into a lot of love with, that it has great presentation, it tastes good, smells better, and then it makes you feel great and fills you up. So for me, I think it's that, and then also jamming to them old school jams. Gotta listen to that old school R&B from the 90s. That gets me going. So when I do that, I feel like as long as I got that, I'm good.
What advice would you give to somebody who's looking to get into being a chef and cooking and wants to go to school?
I would say if you can make it, I would say most definitely go to NECAT Boston. It is not just, like I said, it's not just a school. They treat you like your family, like you're one of their own. And if you really are true to learning how to better your skills and craft yourself into a better, sharper marksman I said marksman, shout out to Mort, and the kitchen. Oh, yeah. But I feel like they are the place to go. I recommend anybody that wants to learn, even a person that can't cook. I see somebody right now, his name was, what is his name? Two. And he said he's very nervous, but I seen this man go from not talking at all to like, he's the best goddamn knife skill person in the class right now. And I'm just like, I was like, what changed? He's like, honestly, you talk to me, like I'm not somebody that talks to people, but you continuously talking to me really broke me out my shell. So I really appreciate that he said that about me. That made me feel good. Because you never know what somebody's going through,
Absolutely.
Nobody really owes you anything to tell you anything about what they're going through in life. So if somebody opens up, take it with a grain of salt, because tomorrow ain't guaranteed.
Absolutely. So what are some things that you think that you could take from cooking and implement into like, not saying it's not real life, but like into real life, you know what I mean? Like as far as lessons and stuff like that.
In regards to cooking, or are we talking overall?
Like something that you learned from cooking that you can use outside of cooking, I guess.
Oh, best advice I ever got was from Chef Q. He told me, and this blew my mind. I was like, wow. He said, a lot of people think that when you go into being a private chef, you make a lot more money. It's a lot more requirements, and it's not as much money as you think it is, because of this exact reason. If you're a private chef and you had this person say, hey, I want to get this, and this amount, and I want it with barbecue chicken sauce, et cetera, and this amount by this time, and they choose to change it up at the last minute, that ain't on them.
Right.
That's on you.
Gotcha.
Versus if I go into like making food for an event, I'm in control. I'm in charge. And I determine the outcome of how much food. And by the time the food is done, that's when I'm done. So I feel like a lot of times people think that being a private catering chef or a private caterer is the way to go. But I recommend, after that great advice, I would recommend that weighing all your options out before you make a decision that could potentially be costly.
Absolutely. I know a lot of people, with a lot of things more than food, but some people tend to overindulge, right?
Absolutely.
Moderation
Absolutely.
is key, man. So some people might be looking for like healthy alternatives, right? Is that something you're into, and what would you recommend for people maybe looking to eat healthy, maybe to help flavor the food a little bit?
For me, my godmother, I know you don't want me to talk about it, but my godmother is a bona fide, certified, to the bone vegetarian, vegan at that. That's what they call themselves, vegans. And I gotta tell you, I made food one day and I felt so guilty. This is when I really started saying, okay, I can't just do things that are for food for people who just eat meat. I gotta, ask everybody, what do you like? What can you eat? What are you allergic to? What are some things that you can't?
Peanuts a big one.
Boom, exactly. And this was at my youngest daughter's baby shower, before she was even born, and she couldn't eat anything but the salad, and it made me cry so bad. I was hurting inside. I'm like, you can't just eat the rice, and because it had just a little bit of some type of protein or something that was meat, meat seasoned, or even had context of anything that was non-vegan.
Yeah, cross-contamination.
Any cross-contamination, cross-context of anything, she couldn't eat it. And I felt so bad. And I think that for me, that was huge as to when I was like, okay, I got to expand my palate. I can't just do this. I need to do this. I need to do everything. And the school that I'm going to has really helped me hone that, to be able to open my palate. I made caramelized sausages with onions from scratch the other day for my girl and her family, and that was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, and she was like, she said in Spanish, apparently, she was like, oh, my son. I was like, that's when you know you touched the heart.
Absolutely.
So that meant everything to me. I was like, yep.
That's cool. So how much are you interested in, or do you learn in as far as like, how to make the food, but like what goes into the food, like the nutritious contents, the vitamins, minerals, the carbs, protein? Is that something that you look into as well, or is that not so much on your radar?
Opposed to before versus now, before I didn't give two damns. I was like, I'm gonna make it good, you gonna eat it, and that's that. Now that it's a whole new world like Disney for me, going to this school, I'm like, damn, it gave me a different perspective on amounts, measurements, fractions, cups, the whole spiel. It's a lot different. So now when I do things in the kitchen, like even when I cook for my dad, he was like, oh, it tastes so much better, because I'm like, one little thing taken out can be the difference maker, the wow factor.
Right.
Or as we call
Less
it in
is
the
more sometimes, right?
Absolutely. Or in the food world, we call it the umi, that wow factor, what makes it just be like, damn, that was really good. And I started learning that, and I'm like, wow. So I made like a black mushroom type of pasta with a red sauce and a little bit of mussels and stuff the other day. And my dad was like, what made you make this? And I said, honestly, I just wanted to try something different. Yeah. And he was like, yo, dude, this is really fucking good. Absolutely. So I feel like now I definitely try newer things. I definitely have opened my palate and my, expansion on different foods to put in, different things to try mushrooms, cauliflower. Never thought I would ever eat cauliflower, but I'm eating cauliflower now. So it's like, yeah, I definitely see myself expanding on different things, trying new things out and stuff like that.
Okay. All right, cool. We're going to make a pivot from the food because I'm starting to get hungry. I have to eat. My mouth's watering. So, okay, talk a little bit about, You said you grew up in Boston.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk about that. Boston, I mean, for us around here, we know it's broken up, Dorchester,
Absolutely.
Roxbury. So talk about what part of Boston you grew up and like what that experience was like.
I'm also in Dorchester, baby.
Okay.
So I grew up where we call it as 52 Dickens Street, apartment 2. Never forget that place. And that's literally where I started becoming, instead of being Malik, I started becoming Malik, AKA, not knowing now, Poetic Leak. I started really rapping and freestyling, and one day my friends like, oh, let's just rap, there's a beat on. Walking to the basketball court, and we just all just playing around, and then one day someone's like, wait, what the hell did you say? And then I remember saying, spit it, committed to get it on, rockin' my sappets, to rockin' my fitted, didn't know no way that my flow was just fitted, and I be in the track like the Batman, I'm up in the night just like I'm the Batman, spitting facts, yes, I'm fat and black, but at least that's facts, fam. And he was like, what?
Nice.
And he's like, yo, no, that shit's fire. He's like, what made you do that? I said, I was just off the dome with it. And that's when I knew, like people used to say, oh yeah, he got ADHD, he's blah, 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 he's this and this. But then my friends was like, nah, bro, that's a gift. What are you talking about? Like, I didn't know, that's not a mental disorder or an issue or a problem. That's a blessing.
Yeah, it's all how you look at it.
Absolutely, because I used to be like, I'm weird, I'm different, because that's what I used to hear.
Yeah.
And in school, I'm big on don't ever say retard around me. I promise you, if you're my friend or family, you say retard, I would not talk to you ever again. I hate that word.
Yeah.
I seen somebody that I grew up with not long ago take their life because of hearing that word so much. I do not tolerate that word. I am not gonna allow none of my friends or family to say it. And whenever I hear, I'm like, yo, don't even say that word again.
Yeah.
So
that's tough. I like how you looked at it like as a gift, right? Because it makes me think of like my mom, right? Like she's a talker. Sometimes she can't control herself, right? And she like doesn't know when to be quiet and all that stuff. And it gets her upset sometimes. Like I wish, I'm like, Ma, you don't understand. That's a gift. Some people can't talk if they were offered $1 million to go in front of a crowd to talk. You know what I mean? So it's all about channeling it the right way and but accept it and recognize it as a gift, as opposed to just like, you know what I mean, a disorder or like people making fun of you,
etc.
It's always something. So I don't know, man. But so talk a little bit about school, right? Where did you go to school? Did you graduate high school? And was it like, what was there like cooking classes or home ec or something like that? Where you went? I believe we had something in my school, but I wasn't part of that.
So we had it was general science and science. General science and science, social studies, etc. I went to, I'm not ashamed, because I beat somebody up for spitting on my face in middle school, and I gave them a new one to breathe through, and they sent me to McKinley because they was like, he's crazy.
Oh, okay.
And
I've heard that school a couple times up here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So McKinley Preparatory High School on 97 Peterborough Street. That's like in Fenway, right near literally right across the street from the Fenway Park. And they not only take kids and school people for, students, for academic, but also for physical, behavioral, and or, mental, etc. I was there for behavioral because I wasn't no bitch.
Yeah.
My dad said, don't go looking for a fight, but also don't run from one. So I did it.
Absolutely.
So I handled my business, and and that ended up making me go to McKinley. I didn't really have a choice. I wanted to go to Madison. I was getting ready to, and they told me, no, he's got to go to McKinley or jail.
So how did that work? Did you graduate from McKinley?
Yes, I graduated with a 4.5, which is awesome, and I'm pretty proud of myself. My parents were adamant about their children going to school. Every one of my siblings have graduated high school. I'm proud of you. Shout out to Makai. Shout out to Natia. We all graduated. My mom and dad was not playing about that. I think one day I tried to skip it, and then I woke up to a real raw ass whooping. I'll never forget that day. Let me tell you, my mom was 4'11", but she punched like 6 feet.
Yeah. No
doubt. And I was like, never again.
No doubt.
I was more, but believe it or not, I was more scared of my grandmother coming than them. One day that she came, I just was like, Nana, I'm sorry. He punched me. I punched him back. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Mind you, the dude, I think it was the school bully, he had threw a ruler across across the room. He threw a sour milk. I'm like, whatever, I could wash up later. Threw eggs at me, whatever. All right, I can wash that off. I said, if you throw that fucking ruler, I'm going to annihilate you.
Right. Plus the 3-strike rule.
Yeah, and he threw the ruler, and then that's how I got that scar over here on my eye. And I slammed him through a metal table. It was on.
Wow. So you had mentioned they said graduate or jail. Was that something that they brought charges on you, or they didn't because you went to the school?
It's because I went to the school, but they tried to intimidate my parents. You know how they do that, not for nothing, you know, no offense to anybody, but, you know, African-American men now and back then were targeted. Like, I couldn't do what other certain individuals could do. You know, I had Caucasian friends, and those friends were able to say things, do things, and get away with bloody murder, but it let me have done it. It's either you go here or the slammer. And I'm like, wait, what? And my dad was like, oh, they were going to try to press charges. My mom was like, yeah, my son never been in trouble with nobody. And eventually my teacher that I had at the time, his name was David Hussey. He's such an amazing person. And he was like, look, we're going to let him go to the other school and finish off what you got to do. And that's what I did. So I'm really grateful for Mr. David Hussey. If it wasn't for him, I don't even know where I would be. I don't know if this would be possible right now, because I beat that guy's butt bad, really bad. Never let somebody spit on you.
No doubt, no
Ever.
doubt. I mean, you gotta, sometimes these things, you know, they don't always coincide with the law or the rules or whatever, but there's certain things, there's an extent, there's only so much that you can take.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So was that something that kind of gave you like a wake-up call and kind of even though like I would say you're in the right, you know what I mean, but like is that something that start make you even look at things differently, like, hey, even if I'm in the right morally, legally, it's a different it's a different thing going on there.
I feel like after that happened, it definitely changed my perspective. I for a long time, like in my freshman year in high school, I was like, I didn't even want to talk to Caucasian people. I was so disgusted, like, wow. I defended myself. He spit on me. That's an assault. But if I defend myself, I'm still at fault. And I thought about it now. I remember going home that night and crying to my grandma, like, why do cops hate me? Why does everybody hate me? Why? And she told me, grandson, it's not that they hate you solely. It's just, unfortunately, this is something that you and your skin would have to go through because it's what we went through. And I understood exactly what she meant. Now I know that the word she was trying to describe to me was racism. And unfortunately, while they say, oh, racism is gone, it's really not. It's just hidden from the true fact of seeing it now. Yeah. And that's the problem.
It's definitely out there. I wouldn't say everybody's racist, but I would definitely say there's a bunch of racists out there of all, you know, all people. But that's their problem. I feel like you got to keep an open mind. You're probably missing out on opportunities, friendships, and stuff like that by keeping that closed mind. But I do understand too, like your situation sometimes there's trauma involved too, and you know, you might not realize, you know, some people, you know, they don't see it till they're older. Like maybe I'd had this against black people because this happened to me when I was younger. Maybe, you know what I mean? You got in a fight with somebody and they beat you up and they happen to be black or white or the other way around, and you look at everybody like that, and it's just, it comes with the territory. But hopefully you get to a certain age where you could kind of see that for what it is. But that having that wake up call, would you think that was a big reason for you getting on the straight and narrow, or did you stray? Did you get any trouble with the law after that, or was that pretty much just about the closest?
I think that was the tipping and final iceberg for me. I feel like once that happened, I was like, yeah, I know for a fact that no matter what I do, if I do something, they're ready for me. They're waiting for me to mess up. Right. When my grandmother used to tell me, like, you as a black man in America these days, you have 3 strikes. Once those 3 strikes are done, they're done. And I felt like that was like the first and second strike based off the way they were talking about it in me. So I was like, yeah, if I don't get my shit together now, it's just a wrap. Right,
and it seems like you at least had parents that cared too, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or that stood on business, but that actually cared, you know what I mean? Which I don't think is always the case, and it's unfortunate.
My dad was, weirdly enough, the main person, like, there ain't nothing wrong with my I think my dad and my grandmother you know, my mom was the more like understanding one, but my dad and my grandmother was more the person was like, there's nothing wrong with my damn grandson, and my dad saying my son, like, y'all just keep messing with him. And I keep telling y'all, Malik ain't stupid. He's smart and he got hands. My dad, I'll never forget this day, and I use this line every time I tell my dad, he said, he's not a gangster. He is not a thug, but his hands are vicious. Leave that boy alone. And ever since then, that's what I tell him. Like, yo, I'm not a gangster, I'm not a thug, but these hands don't discriminate. They do not.
Hey, sometimes I always say too, like that one fight could prevent 100.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If you do well
Absolutely.
enough, or even if you just show up, because some people they want the easy mark. If they like this kid's gonna give you all hell, you know, at least, man. I think that'll prevent sometimes. I think young men, boys and stuff like that. We gotta learn that, man, because one day you're gonna have family yourself, and who's gonna be the protector?
Yeah,
the man probably. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you graduated from
high school.
Yeah, what was the name of it again?
McKinley.
You graduated from McKinley. Okay. What was the plan after that? Did you have a plan?
I'm not gonna lie. The plan that I thought I was going to have, because I was playing Little League baseball too, and then I really wanted to grasp that in my arsenal, because I have a cannon in this arm. Like I used to, when I tell you I was nice, in Little League I was nice.
Yeah.
And I feel like had I honed that and continued it, I think I would have went to the league. I tell my mom all the time. Wow. She's like, you were in Little League. How you know? You stopped it. You the one that stopped. You had a kid. I said, well, you're right. But still, one can only hope. But I feel like if I didn't find out that I had my oldest daughter, I think that I would have regrasp that baseball feel, and I think I would have made it.
Okay. So how old were you when you became a father? I mean, you seem pretty young now. What was that like finding out?
I can't incriminate myself because my mom and dad. However, I will say my oldest daughter is 11 now.
Okay.
That I can't say, because if I say anything else, I'm gonna incriminate myself.
So you're pretty much saying your parents can't do math because it's just 9 months.
I'm just saying. I'm saying that if they don't know too much about it, they won't go searching for something.
So I mean, talk about that experience though, finding out. Like, what was that like? What's going through your mind?
It was jaw dropping, because the way it was broken down to me was I didn't even know she was alive until a year later.
Oh.
She was a year old.
So it wasn't like you're finding out,
Nah.
oh, hey, I'm pregnant. Wow, okay.
Not
So
at
it's
all.
even,
My
okay,
daughter's
get into
mom,
that. Wow.
Yeah, my daughter's mother came up and was like, oh, you can't take your child? I said, my child? What child? I was dead serious. She thought I was being petty or being funny. I'm like, what child? What are you talking about? And then I was like, Mom, she's saying I have a child. You know something I don't know? And she's like, what are you talking about? That girl, everybody knew how she was. She was a fast one. I won't lie. My mom's like, she was a little fast little thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably the word that mom used too. Fast.
That's the nice way. That's the nice way. But so I was like, look, I ain't gonna hold you. I know how you are in these streets. I want a DNA test.
Should be mandatory, I think, but
I got a DNA test. And let me tell you, 96.9% mine. I was like, oh, all right then. And then I'll never forget. And then I seen her, mind you, before that even happened, when I first found out she had a kid, I didn't know whose it was, and I was helping her out. And then she finally broke it to my mom, like, hey.
You never even thought in your head to try
Not even, because I just knew how she operated. So I was like, I wasn't thinking about it. I kept seeing it as this could have been my brother or something like that, or maybe a family member's child. I'm gonna help her out, because I was doing what I was doing, and but we never had a relationship. And then I was like, you know what, who knows? It could potentially be mine.
Wow.
So I helped her out nonstop. Even when my mom used to tell me, you don't help her out until you know, because what happens if it's not yours? Then that's gonna be a burden on you, and you're gonna be hurt. And we went to that court date, 96 point something% mine, and I'm like, well, damn, hey girl, how you doing?
Yeah.
And it was, so ever since then, my little girl is that's my baby.
I hear that. That must have been, kind of a lot of emotions going on there.
Absolutely.
Too happy to be a father, but then it's like, how did you feel about it being kept from you? I mean,
it hurt me. It took me a fair amount of years to really like get over that, because like I feel like you took the most important parts and times of what it feels like to be a dad away from me. I didn't have an opportunity for that, and that hurt like hell. You know, I'm not gonna say how it ended up happening, because you know, court cases, etc. involved, but not everything on social media is what it seems.
oh, that's
And
for sure.
I know that's a curveball from what we were talking about, but it's a reason I'm telling you that for this topic.
That's fine.
Not everything that you see on social media is what it seems, because just because somebody's posting it don't mean that's what they live in.
Yeah, I mean, just because someone says something too, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
Absolutely.
actions definitely will speak louder than words. So you get out of high school, you're a father. So talk about, when do you go from kicking this freestyle, right? And getting that good feedback to like, okay, let me start recording, or like talk about that, like getting in the studio, or what's the process like? Or do you just do, because it's the internet age, you could just spit a freestyle on the phone and upload that before you even put anything on like in the actual studio. So like, what was your process after that?
This is what happened, all right? I'm not gonna lie. So, me and my best friend Ramsey, right, the President's Clothing brand owner and CEO, we've been,
can't see
you
it.
know, you know,
yeah, there we
President,
go.
you know, you see
there we
it? No, so, you know, one day I think we went to an event for another close mutual friend of ours, Newski, and I forget what his brand name was, but Stamina. Yeah, it was Stamina. And from that day, I met Ramsey, and I was like, we're there, and then we was talking. And I was like, stick around. You're not going nowhere. God is telling me you're supposed to be around for a long time. Don't leave until we exchange numbers. I'm telling you. Just believe what I'm telling you. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, I mean, I hear you. I've heard it. And now, like I said, we've been friends since 12 years ago, July 12th. So we've been, not 12 years ago, 10 years ago. 10 years, July 12th, we've been best friends for 10 years. Wow. So when people say, oh, real friendships is fake, that don't never happen, nah. It's because a lot of times people want to be surpassive and you know, overpass their friends or their brothers being, and that's why it never works. Me and Ramsey always want to see each other win.
Yeah.
So we always win. He and I was having a freestyle cipher that day, you know, playing music and instrumentals and whatnot. And one day he was like, yo, you nice. You got music or something? I was like, nah, but I just do this for fun. It's just funny to me.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, like, you know, I just been doing it. And then shout out to my cousin Doodle Butt, because he is the reason why me and my older cousin Sincere even reconnected, and why I'm gonna be doing a lot of recordings again, you know, really honing everything I do in the studio environment, because that's what it's all about. Like, I could spit 150 billion one freestyles off the dome all day, but if nobody else can experience that journey with me, it's for pointless. It's not for nothing. And I'm trying to do this to make an impact on the future generation, because I'm tired of hearing this techno, stupid, oh, money, cars, drugs, hoes, and sex. Like, that's trash. Like, spit something real.
Been done, yeah.
Yeah. Like, let me hear something authentic. I'm trying to bring that 90s vibe. Like, shout out to Jello Ball, because he's actually, people be clowning him, but he's bringing that 90s, 2000s vibe back. And that's what's authentic.
That was the best era, in my opinion. Maybe a little bias coming from, like, that's when I fell in love with hip hop, like DMX, Mace, and stuff like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Mid '90s and all that. Start working out to DMX, like you
Yeah,
were talking about
X
earlier.
gonna give it to you.
Yeah,
You feel me?
man, and then kind of going with the 50 Cent era
Yeah,
after that,
Click
getting
Deep,
hit to Nas and all that. '90s and the 2000s was for sure
That
lit,
to me
bro.
was the best time to be alive. The 90s to 2000, early 2000s was the best time to be alive. That's when real music really was popping. After that, it died because they started going techno.
And I'm like, it's not even like just music though, too. Like culturally, like
Absolutely.
movies. Like
Yeah,
when was the
yeah.
last classic movie that they made? We talk about we coming from like, you know, Goodfellas, Scarface, all these great movies too, like late 80s, 90s. It's like
Scarface.
what's a recent
like,
classic past 2010? It may be a couple, nothing that I can really spit off the top of my head, but
I
that
ain't
was
gonna
such a dope
lie,
era.
The last good one for me was in 2000, and it was damn, what was it? It was an Adam Sandler movie. Matter of fact, I'm lying. 1997, Big Daddy.
Big Dad, yeah.
That was
I
hella.
I
That
remember
was
seeing
a
that in the movie
very
theaters with my
dope
dad,
movie.
so I was
It
young.
So for me, it was very detrimental to my life because it actually gave me a different perspective on my parents.
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
I haven't really had too many good movies. Okay movies, good movies, but them damn good, great, like, damn, I got to watch that. I could watch that 12 times. Ain't been a good movie like that since.
Yeah, I agree. You know, even the people like Martin Scorsese who put out these classics still can't seem to like recreate that. I don't know what it is. But hey, the 90s, 2000s was a great era.
Yes,
So
it
talk
was.
about, because we got into the, like when you started recording, like what's the catalog look like? How much do you actually have recorded, and what's your process? I mean, you say you freestyle. Do you just go in the studio and freestyle? Or do you write before you get in there?
Nah, like I said, like remember when I was telling you that honing my gift and owning it as a blessing versus a curse or a deficiency. Whenever I hear sounds, it could be somebody clicking the top of a bottle top, right? I start and instantly I hear a beat in my head, and right after words follow. So as long as no matter what I do, I can hear drip drops from a damn waterfall or drip drops from a water faucet dropping, and I'm starting to think about lyrics. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse.
I hear you.
So I feel like I don't really ever write my stuff down. Like I said, that if I did have a curse, it would be that. I wish that I could be like people and just like, yeah, nah, that ain't me. I'm straight from the dome. When I tell you, it's always off the top and it always gets better every time. I'm off the dome. I can never be that person that writes it down.
Okay.
But I can damn sure freestyle it from the dome every time.
So is that what you do when you go in the studio? And how much do
Absolutely.
you have recorded now? And where can the people find something that they want to listen to from you? You guys SoundCloud or coming soon?
I do have a new management team that I'm actually talking with right now. Nothing secure yet, but I think that I might overall end up wanting to go with these people from word to mouth and based off what I see and I hear. As far as recordings, there's a hell of a lot of tracks. Me, Mort Beezy, Supreme. We got a collaboration coming up called Keys for the beat that I made. So I'm looking forward to that, you know. And I'm Sincere Boston is gonna definitely hone that in and bring that together. So I'm excited about that. I got songs and features coming up with another artist called Pretty Demons. I'm gonna be doing a song with Ramsey Ralston. His first song that he's ever gonna do. So I'm gonna help him get into that, you know,
That's what's up.
transition to that side of
Hell
the
yeah.
game. I got some songs solely that I want to do with Mort, solely that I want to do with Arthur Supreme, Brady Barney, Hooper James. Shout out my boy. That's one Caucasian that can rap his ass off. I'm
Okay.
excited about that one. And then Lil Honey on IG. She's nice too. I'm looking forward to collaborations with her. And Xavier, who is a breakdancing phenomenon.
Breakdancing, you said?
Breakdancing
Oh, nice.
phenomenon. And then also a hidden gem in the rut that I found through my girl was Joven. Y'all tap into him. Joven, his name is Joven on IG. If you need any other help finding him, reach out to poetic_leak and I got you. That boy is so talented and he's only 22. And I damn sure I'm gonna make sure that he doesn't stir fry down to the depths of stupidity, faults, flaws, failures. I'm gonna guide him to the right path.
So
For sure.
So you also making beats too. When did you start doing that, and how's that work? I mean, it's one thing to bang on the tables, but then you gotta use technology, make the beat. I guess talk about that.
I think that in Florida, you know, being in Florida during the COVID pandemic, you had a lot of time. So I think one day I was just like, you know what? producers acting stupid. I keep hearing people complaining about studio. Like, what the hell? What's the worst that can happen? What? That I feel and I don't want to do it no more? Well, it was quite the opposite. I actually ended up doing it, and it was actually a lot better than I thought it would be.
Nice.
And I was like, oh. So people were buying my beats, and I was starting off. I think that I was like just testing stuff out, templates, samples, etc. To the fact that I actually, it's like, I like this. This is nice. And then I think that it was one beat that I made. It was called No Smoke. And I did that beat in 2.5 minutes.
Wow.
That's when people was like, yo, did you just really complete that beat in 2.5 minutes? And I'm like, yeah, why? That's what people do. Like, right? And he's like, no, not right. Some beats can take up to a year.
Wow.
I said, oh, all right, my bad. And from that day on, he was like, dude, I need to take you somewhere. He showed me the studio in Florida. I think it was in Orlando. I forget what the name of it was, but it was so nice. I felt like I made it.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, I think that was like 10 or 11 years ago.
Sure.
Ever since then, I've just been making beats, and I like authenticity, so I make authentic beats.
Absolutely. What about performances? Have you hit the stage yet?
I had my testing waters with I forget what his name, Mr. Kyle Washington, when I had my song called Life, spelled L-Y-F currency E. And that was my first song. It wasn't the best song, but it was me retouching into that, making a song, recording, and getting able to perform it type feeling. And I'm actually going to drop that on Apple Music soon. I actually have somebody helping me with that.
Oh, nice.
So it will be on Apple Music soon. So tap in.
So what about the actual performance? Was there nerves associated with that? Yeah. Talk about that.
I'm not going to lie. It was very nerve-wracking. It was kind of cut short. I was kind of upset because I was not only once again, I was the chef and a performer / the co-host.
Nice.
That time. So I was literally the multiple jacks of trades that night. I believe after everybody performed that night, by the time it was my time to perform, I think the people were really trying to get people out, because that was during that time that we had a huge snowstorm on February 8th and 9th. And I believe, I was recording it, and once I started getting the feeling, that's when the lights came. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I feel like, but just the fact that I was able to get out there and regain that strength and confidence to be on the stage in front of mad people was amazing.
Yeah.
So I was able to conquer that fear again, and that felt great. Yeah, now I'm just like, all right, jump out there, let's do this. What's up,
go.
Yo?
That's what's up. So what about if people want to contact you, right? Do you got different pages for the food thing?
Absolutely.
And if someone wants a beat, so I guess run through that.
So my music and personal page is actually poetic_leak on Instagram. My Facebook page is Malik Hopkins. Don't ever call me that. But it is Malik Hopkins on Facebook. You can reach me there. Snapchat, poetic_leak. TikTok, poetic_leak. And then my food page is called Rhymes and Dines, spelled RHYMEZAND, obviously. DINEZ. What is Z? So it's Dines.
Absolutely. So if there's one thing that, you'd want someone to take from your story, if they could, only take one thing, what do you think that would be, or what would you want that to be?
I would say that where you are now, in this current moment, does not define who you'll be in the future.
Absolutely.
And believing is achieving. If you believe that where you are is not who you want to be or where you will be, go ahead and achieve it.
Absolutely.
It's possible.
It is. Absolutely. And before I let you go, man, if there was any last words for the audience, or if you wanted to kick a freestyle, here's your opportunity. I appreciate you coming through, man. Mr. Freestyle King over here.
All right, y'all want to do a freestyle? Let me get a beat real quick. I get you. Hold on. You got a beat for me, Ram?
Yeah, I got you.
Put that beat on real quick.
But we got to be careful with the beats, though, because of copyright, though, too.
Okay.
Can you do some acapella?
All right.
Can you do some acapella?
Right,
yeah.
Here we go. Look, Committed to get it, I'm rocking my sappets and rocking my fitteds. I know they're no with it. My flowers just fitted. They really be mad, but really don't get killing the track and to do it for fame. I do it for green to support my fam, my mama, my sister, my cousin, my daughters, my pops. Man, you know what I mean. I'm living my life and I'll do it all right. All people they hating all right, but every day I spit on the mic. I do it every day and night. This ain't no Kid Cudi, baby girl. You know I'm funny. Not funny with the money, baby. Funny 'cause you know I'm hungry.
Bounce back, ain't got a moment. When they see you down, there's